So you want to fill your garden with flowers, but you want to do it on a budget. So I'm going to share with you my favorite place to come to buy plants for cheap to help fill my yard, but without breaking the bank. I've come to this place several times over the last couple of years, and I'm going to show you in this video the plants that I've purchased from this place and how they're doing, because I often come here in search of perennials. You can get annuals, but I'm like, perennials are going to be the biggest bang for my buck, and I don't necessarily always want to spend $25 at a local nursery. So this is where I come to find things for cheap, and they've done great. So let's get going. Ta-da! Lowe's is my secret garden place. Don't sleep on Lowe's, y'all. I'm going to show you why this place is so great. This is officially one of my favorite places to try and get plants for cheap, because they always put plants on discount. Unfortunately, some plants, either they don't get enough water, stuff happens, they start to fade, and then they put them on clearance. So the current selection here is not the greatest today, but you can see that things get marked down. If it was $2 to $4.99, it's $2. $10 to $4.99, it's $7, and then 15 and up, it's 15% off. But I have gotten echinaceas here, I've gotten rudbeckias, I've gotten hydrangeas, I've gotten roses of Sharon from this section of Lowe's. Like, if you have a Lowe's near you, go and check out their clearance section. This one has some hydrangeas, as well as that one has some catmint down there, which this catmint, all it really needs is to be pruned and watered. That's the problem with this. Like, just pull out all this stuff here, just take all of this out, and then it will come back for you, and then it will come back again next year because it is a perennial. It smells divine, and the purple flowers on this are absolutely lovely. This one doesn't have any, but it has really nice purple spikes. Okay, and in case you're wondering, no, Lowe's is not the sponsor of this video. I just love coming here for plant stuff because I have been to Home Depot. Home Depot does not have a clearance section like Lowe's. I love the seed selection options at Lowe's. Typically, they carry my Ferris Morris seeds, which I love. I mean, I get seeds from like Johnny's, Baker's Creek, but Ferris Morris is a great seed brand that I can find in store that has a fantastic germination rate. I also like to come here for my bulbs. So like if I'm looking for some new dahlias to add to my collection in my yard, I come to Lowe's because I have found that their bulb selection is more vast than what I have found at like Home Depot or at Walmart. And like if I go online, yes, I can find plenty of bulb selections, but they're not bulb selections, tuber selections for dahlias. But they're gonna be a lot more expensive compared to what I can get here at Lowe's. And once I got some beautiful yellow dinner plate dahlias from here a few years ago, and they were magnificent. And I tried to save the tubers. I did not succeed the first year. Last year, I did better. But I feel like this is gonna be the year that I do really well with saving my dahlia tubers. Fingers crossed. By God's grace. I shouldn't even fingers crossed. By God's grace, I will do very well saving my dahlia tubers this year. So we're going to get ready to head back to my house, and I'm going to show you what I have purchased from Lowe's and how it is doing. Okay, friends, so now that we're back here at the house, let me show you the plants that I have purchased from Lowe's. I will share with you the successes as well as some of the failures. I have one that I'm so sad about because I purchased it and I was so excited, but then we went on our 2-week trip and I completely forgot about it. And when you first initially get these plants, you really have to tend to them in the beginning and really make sure that you're meeting their needs so they can establish themselves. And I just did not do that for this plant. So that's a bitter loss, and you're gonna see why. But the first one that we have here is actually one of my coneflowers. So I've had this coneflower since the beginning, like when I first started my flower garden, this was one of the first coneflowers that I put in. It was a lot shorter, so I would say that it was probably like down here. And it's gotten bigger, and it has more blooms on it than it did when I initially bought it. But it's also going into, this is its 3rd year. So I will be dividing this plant and putting some of it in another part of the yard because at the end of 3 years with the coneflowers, you really should divide them. I do have a lot of things in my garden that I've also started from seed. So I do want to do a video showing you guys all the things that I've started from seed and how they're doing right now. Some stuff is phasing out because it's the end of the season, but they're still glorious. Like my yarrows here. These I started from seed. They didn't do anything for me last year, but this year they had some beautiful big yellow heads on them, but now they're all coming to an end. Let me find some of my everything in here. It's been so hot. We have this huge heat wave that's sweeping through, and so everything is just struggling. I actually need to break out my sprinkler and water everything. So some stuff it's like, oh yeah, I'm so excited to get this thing. Some stuff it's like, I get it, I plant it, not sure how I feel about it, and then I move it, and then I contemplate ripping it out. And this is one of the things that I purchased that I think I got it for like $4. Like, you can't beat a $4 coneflower. But I haven't really been impressed with the color or how it's performed. So I'm actually going to be ripping it out. And I moved it to the tail end of my flower garden for that purpose. So it is this coneflower right here. It's kind of like a pinkish burgundy color. I'm just not crazy about how the plant has looked. Last year, it was about half this height and really shrubby. This year it put out longer stems, but you can see that it put out like maybe 7 flowers. And typically the second year for coneflowers, they do so much better than this. So I haven't really been impressed with the performance of this one. And I think I'm probably gonna just dig it out and put something else here in its place, because space in the garden is very valuable and we can't just give it to anyone, especially if you're not going to be doing what you're supposed to be doing out here in these streets. Okay, so one of the other things that I got was a red echinacea. It was like a reddish orangey colored echinacea that I had right here that started out about this big. I'm going to post a picture or video of what it looked like. And it grew to like here. It was gigantic by the time I dug it out. I dug it out and I moved it to my mom's yard because I planted this New Dawn climbing rose from Heirloom Roses for my arbor here. I really wanted something to climb, and so I needed to put the rose on this side. So instead of digging up my chrysanthemums over here, which I would not have minded doing, I put the rose on this side because I really wanted to like grow up this way and climb in that direction instead of growing up on this side and growing that direction. So I did have an echinacea here that I had for the last 2 summers. And this is the first summer that has spent in my mom's yard, but it was beautiful. It really didn't match the color scheme that I was going for though here in the flower garden. I don't really have a lot of like oranges and reds. So she likes that color scheme more, my mom does, so I was okay moving it to her yard. The next thing that I got from Lowe's is tucked away back here. So let's see if we can. My sedum. I love this thing. It's gonna turn like this salmon color. You can see here it's kind of starting to do it already, but the whole thing will start to turn that color. So this sedum is so big compared to what it was when I first purchased it. I probably really need to get supports for this one as well, because you can see how it kind of flops out down there. For the most part, it holds its shape on this side. This becomes the floppy side, which is really interesting. So I'm gonna try and maybe put some supports in place for it next year. Okay, so please ignore how dry everything is in my yard right now. I really need to water. It's just been, we were supposed to get a ton of rain over the weekend, and the rain like bypassed us and went north, and I was just like, oh no. And then we have like 3 days straight where it's in the high 90s. So anyway, this is one of the other plants that I got from Lowe's that I'm super excited about. This is a Rose of Sharon, and I got this on clearance for like 10 bucks. And these plants go for like $35, $40, $50, especially for the size that it was when I purchased it. And I was so excited because I had been seeing this plant on the side of the road, like in front of people's homes, because I would see this flowering shrub and I was like, what is that thing? So I finally took a picture and someone told me, oh, it's a Rose of Sharon. So I found this on clearance at Lowe's. It needed so much rehabilitation, like leaves were falling off of it. It looked really sad. But you can see that it's doing really well. It has these like hibiscus styled flowers on it that bloom, and I absolutely love it. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, this is my Rose of Sharon that I got from Lowe's on discount. So yeah, don't sleep on Lowe's. But since I am standing next to the casualty that I told you about, I will show you this casualty. Very ashamed that it had to die this death. And I was so excited about the plant too when I found it, but I'll go ahead and show it to you. Ugh. So here it is. This is just a random box. There's really nothing growing in here. I need to move it. But this right here was a beautiful foxglove, a lavender foxglove. I got it for $12. It was gigantic. I placed it in the bed there behind me, and I was going to dig a really big hole and stick it in the ground and tend to it, because really, when you transplant the plants that come from the pots like this, their roots are really bound. You really got to give them time to establish themselves. So I was going to baby it really for about 2 weeks. And then I got so busy in packing for the trip to go see my in-laws that I completely lost sight of it. And it died on me while I was gone, of course, because no one was taking care of it or watering it. Even if you leave them in the pot, you really have to water these up like quite a bit. So I was very distraught and disappointed. It was such an amazing find, and I am just completely blown. I got this thing for $12. I was driving my mom's car that day, and I managed to fit it in front of her passenger seat on the floor because it was so tall. But yeah, so another really great find from Lowe's that would have been a beautiful addition to my garden had I not sadly killed it. So I have another one to show you, and then that kind of wraps up our things I got from Lowe's tours that I still have that are doing well, because I have purchased other things in the past, like when I first started my flower garden, but I just don't have a lot of them anymore. Some of them I've dug up and given away because I was making space for things that I started from seed. Other things I just didn't really end up liking the look of it. And other things just died. So I had a few plants that were supposed to be perennials in my zone, but died over the winter and didn't come back in the spring. It's a blend between a rudbeckia and an echinacea. I think they're called sunbeckias. But I had one of those and it was beautiful. It was so pretty, and it had started to come back in the following spring, but then we got this really hard frost and it killed it. So when I would go check on it to see if it had any green on it, there was nothing. So I eventually just had to pull it out. But sadly, those are some of the things that happen, and you change and you make adjustments and you change your mind as you're putting your flower garden together. You say like, oh, I thought I wanted that there, but I don't anymore. I thought I liked that, but I don't. I have things here that I'm ripping out and I have plants that I'll be moving and things that I'll be switching up and changing, especially at this far end of the garden. I feel like most of my attention goes into that front half of the garden over there, but then this back half here really gets neglected. So I'm working on filling these in with things that need less of me and can kind of just thrive on their own. This bed does pretty good. Right now, everything back here is just dry and needs water, and it'll perk back up. But the last thing I want to show you is this Rose of Sharon that I got. This one actually wasn't in the clearance section. So this one was with the regular plants, but it looked so sad and leaves were falling off of it. The flowers had all fallen off. It was super wilty. I think it's a chiffon Rose of Sharon. It's in the Rose of Sharon family, but I want to say it's called a chiffon something. I have to double check the name. But it's beautiful. It puts out these beautiful pink blooms. I have cut some of these stems to put in bouquets. They don't have a very long vase life. They're really good for just the day or for whatever thing. Like I had some people over and I cut some of these to add to the bouquet in my kitchen, and it lasted for the day that I needed it. But it doesn't really go too far beyond that. But yeah, so these are this is another Rose of Sharon that I just love and I think is so lovely. I want to get out of this so you can see it. Trying to find some more. This is a bloom that's opening. Have some more open blooms here. So yeah, this was on clearance. I got this for, this was $12. So I got this plant for $12 and I think it was marked for 30 and I got it for 12. And so if you're like, I want to get this flower garden thing going, I'm really interested, go to Lowe's because they have a bunch of really great perennial selections. Double check your zones because I feel like that Sunbeckia that I got that I loved, or maybe it was called an Echinacea. It might have been called an Echinacea that I got, probably would have done better if I had been like just one zone up. Or even if I had mulched it, right? If I had known that it wasn't a true perennial to my zone, then I just would have mulched it. So if you're interested in seeing stuff about seed storage and my seed collection, or even if you're interested in seeing a video about, if you have time to comment down below and let me know what you would be interested in seeing. I'm debating about posting a video about seeds and seed storage, or posting a video about all of the things that I've started in my garden from seed and how they're doing now. So taking you guys on a tour of everything in the garden that's from seed. And I think that video would be fun, but let me know in the comments what you think. So anyway, I'll see you guys next time. If you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.